And once again, a very good evening to everyone as we welcome you back to Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium here on the campus of Collinsville High School. One semifinal in the book saw Quincy down O'Fallon 57-46, so one half of the final is already set. I know a lot of folks around here wanted to see the two undefeated teams meeting in the championship. We are one step closer to that. Quincy already there. Collinsville getting ready to take on Lincoln in the second semifinal to see who will face the Quincy Blue Devils. And how did they all get here? Well, Collinsville started off this tournament by downing Eisenhower 64-47. Jayhawks earlier today took care of Triad 67-29 to make it to this game. Lincoln needed every bit of all 4 quarters, 8 minutes in each quarter to take care of McClure North last night, 45-43. Lincoln then took care of Belleville East a little earlier today by a score of 40-27, and that pits Collinsville against Lincoln here in this semifinal number 2. Let's get you caught up on what's going on over in the auxiliary gym. That same McClure North team just lost to Eisenhower 54-51, so McClure and Oakville will play for 15th and 16th place tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Rockford East down Oakville 53-47. So it's going to be Rockford East taking on Eisenhower for 13th and 14th place tomorrow, also at 10 a.m. That game will be the first game that we have for you tomorrow morning here on the Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium floor, while the Oakville-McClure game will be the only game that takes place tomorrow in the Aux Gym. In the Aux Gym right now, Granite City getting ready to take on Mundelein in semifinal number 1 of the consolation bracket. And then Carbondale and Collierville will hook up in the 9 o'clock game over in the auxiliary gym to bring us our 2 final participants in the consolation final, which will take place tomorrow at 4:30. And the consolation final is basically a nice way of saying 9th place and 10th place. 9th place for the winner and 10th place for the loser. So Quincy already in the final here. O'Fallon drops down to the 3rd and 4th place game. That'll be a 6 o'clock game tomorrow night. And also later on tonight here after this one between Collinsville and Lincoln, it'll be Triad taking on Belleville East in the other 5th place semifinal. The winner will take on MacArthur tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 for 5th and 6th place. The loser will play Altoff at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon for 7th and 8th place. We have one break coming your way, and then we will be back and let you know who the starters are for both of these teams, and we will do that here in just a moment on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside All-Star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 in Collinsville or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience. Choose Lakeside.
First National Bank of Waterloo, with over 100 years serving the Metro East. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo at their Maryville or Collinsville locations for all of your banking, mortgage, and lending needs. Why? Super low closing costs, low construction loan rates, and they do so much to support our local communities. When you need a loan, call the Collinsville team at First National Bank of Waterloo at 618-345-1121 or visit their Maryville or Collinsville locations or online at fnbwaterloo.bank. First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Got vinyl? Rich's Record Emporium in Uptown Collinsville can take care of all of your vinyl needs and more. You can peruse through thousands of records, from country to hard-to-find jazz, And classic rock is always in stock at Rich's Record Emporium. Used vinyl, new vinyl, and hard-to-find vinyl. Don't forget to check out the audio room at Rich's, where you can check out the latest in audio gear, from new top-of-the-line speakers to turntables and receivers, plus all of the accessories. Rich's has t-shirts, record cleaners, turntable needles, wall art, and so much more. If you can't find what you're looking for at Rich's, they will do their best to find it for you. Don't forget to mention seeing this ad on the KHOC Sports Network for a 10% discount at checkout. Rich's Record Emporium, 131 West Main Street in Collinsville, or call 618-795-1333 or online at richesrecordemporium.com.
Herald Square and Cold Herald, two great additions to the Collinsville landscape. Next to the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, Herald Square is a new outdoor multi-use event space in Collinsville. Concerts, fun and games, farmer markets, and so much more. Herald Square, a great space for Collinsville's future. And just off the square's turf, Cold Herald, old-fashioned scooped ice cream gelato, house-made recipes, and premium sourced product. If you're over 21, ask about the good stuff at Cold Herald. Watch Collinsville grow. Herald Square and Cold Herald, two great new additions, only in Collinsville, Illinois.
Once again, we welcome you back here to Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, getting you set for this game between Lincoln and Collinsville, semifinal number 2. Winner will move on to take on the Quincy Blue Devils tomorrow night at 7:30 for the championship of this 39th annual Prairie Farms Holiday Basketball Tournament. And here are your starters. The Lincoln Rail Splitters will be the visiting team here tonight for this game. They will bring Trey Schilling onto the floor, the 6-foot junior, Gabe Smith, the 6'2 junior, Carson Komnick, the 6'3 sophomore, Keon Carson, the 5'7 senior, and Drew Hayes, the 6'5 junior. Collinsville will counter with the usual starting 5 for the K-Hawks. Nick Horace, the 6'3 senior, Chase Reynolds, the 5'11 junior, Jamari Weisinger, the 6-foot senior, Stanley Carnahan, the 6'6 junior, and Zach Chambers, the 6'9 senior. And those are your starters for your Collinsville K-Hawks. Chad Burgess doing the announcing here as the Collinsville K-Hawks are being announced to a capacity crowd here at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium. And believe me when I tell you, there's a lot of red sprinkled into the stadium as well, as the Lincoln Railers have traveled very well. Dr. Chris McCluskey will be joining us here in just a moment, as I'm doing my best to keep my voice here. Even though I haven't done as many games, man, I tell you what, this is a rough tournament to have to go through when you're doing a lot of talking. All right, so last year, last year, these two teams met in the 5th place game of this tournament. Collinsville won that one by a score of 44-38. The last time that these two teams met in a championship was in 2014. Lincoln won that contest 47-34. They also met in the 2009 championship, where Lincoln won 56-48, and a 3rd place game they met for in 2005, and Collinsville beat Lincoln in that one 39-36. So do you see the overwhelming trend here is that whenever you play Lincoln, don't expect a high-scoring game, as Dr. Chris McCluskey joins us, and I think that'll be the same here tonight.
Yeah, you know, I always say when we play Lincoln, I feel like we're playing that team off the movie Hoosiers, right?
Yeah.
They don't look like much, but they're always good, right? You got to play good basketball to beat them.
I was in Coach Anderson's office. That's where the copier is during this tournament, and I was making all my copies to get ready for this game and the previous game, and he's like, man, I hope we have a better time scoring points against Lincoln than Belleville East did, and Belleville East only managed to score 27 points in that entire contest.
I noticed. Well, here we're going to give it a shot right now, Todd.
We are. Collinsville in the home white jerseys, trimmed in purple, numbers in purple. K-Hawks written across the fronts of those purple jerseys right over that number. Here's a three-point try by Jamori Weisinger, and that's the way this one gets going.
That's what we call a zone buster. Jamori, the tight zone. Jamori says, I'll shoot from 25 feet. Thank you very much.
Lincoln with their first offensive possession. They're in the red uniforms. Got a little white over the shoulders mixed in with that Christmas tree green, and they have the word Lincoln written across the tops of their jerseys. Numbers on the fronts and the backs are in black. Over into the corner it goes, and here is Carson. You're going to see a fun show here when Carson and Tyree Brister start hooking up with each other a little later. There's a floater into the lane by Gabe Smith, and Collinsville has a 1-point lead, and the K-Hawks have the basketball back. We're just underway in the first minute here of this opening quarter. Here is Weisinger. Weisinger deep out on the left wing, gives it up to Chase Reynolds, back over to Jamori, back over to Chase. Chase to the free throw line, Carnahan. Here is Horace, wide open three, and that one rattles but won't fall. Rebound belongs to Lincoln. They bring it back up. Here is Drew Hayes. He got that rebound, sends it up already to Carson. Hayes gets it right back, and then over onto the wing. They'll keep it around the horn a lot, this Lincoln team will. They will pass that ball back and forth around the outside of that three-point arc until they feel like they're ready for a shot, and there's a little floater into the lane by Carson Komnick, and now the Railers are up by 1 at 4-3.
Yeah, Collinsville allowing penetration. They're kind of chasing the ball around the perimeter, and then they allow the penetration. They're going to have to tighten that up on the interior.
Here is Reynolds over to Weisinger. Back over to Reynolds, and the same play off the set free throw line, and a little dribble drive instead of the three by Horace. Number 3 takes one baseline and gives Collinsville back the 1-point lead.
Well, I like Collinsville going to that high post. It really puts a lot of pressure on the various facets of the zone coverage.
We'll see how Collinsville can handle all this ball movement outside the three-point arc that Lincoln always does. The shot clock has prevented them from holding onto the ball and keeping that ball for a minute, minute and a half. Sometimes they'll do that.
Yeah, Collinsville just needs to kind of back up and let them do it, right? Make them beat you from the perimeter.
Yeah, well,
they can't beat you from the inside
unless
you give up layups.
Yeah, they're going to have to pay attention to that shot clock. And right now it's down to 3. Here is Carson. He drives, he fires, and somehow or another that went in with 1 second left on the shot clock.
What a prayer. My goodness. Kudos to the young man for making it happen, but sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, right?
Yeah, I hear you there. Collinsville trailing by 1 point again. Here is Chase Reynolds. Reynolds gives it up to Weisinger. Now over onto the left wing for Horace. Underneath, here's the first paint points. Count the bucket, and 1. And Zach Chambers will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big key for Collinsville here. Chambers at 6'9". I mean, nobody from Lincoln can match up with him. So if we can feed the ball to the monster down in the paint, good things could be a result.
That is true. Zach Chambers did not go to the free throw line in that win over Triad. Collinsville as a team went 3 of 6 from the free throw line in that contest, and Chambers becomes the first free throw participant here in semifinal number 2, and he'll make that one, and Collinsville will go up by 2. 8-6, 5:15 left to play here in this opening quarter. Here comes Carson and the Lincoln Railers. He'll give it up now to Hayes. Hayes over on the far side wing to Komnick, and they'll continue to shoot that thing around the horn. I'd tell you all about it, but it happened so fast that by the time I got the guy's name out of my mouth, the next guy already has it. 3-point try, no good. Rebound Carnahan for Collinsville. He'll give it up to Weisinger. Chance for Collinsville to extend the 2-point lead. Over to Chase Reynolds. Into the corner for Horace. Back out front for Reynolds. Reynolds surveys things as he got a couple of guys closing in. 3 points for Jamori, and it's good again.
Yes, sir. Jamori Weisinger stays red hot here at Virgil Fletcher Gym.
Timeout on the floor by the Lincoln Railers. We'll take a timeout as well, and we'll be back here in just a moment on the K-Hawk Sports Network.
The Collinsville Area Community Foundation is our community's charitable foundation. We connect people, support programs, and guide resources to help our community thrive. Our board is made up of local leaders that donate their time and expertise to identify opportunities for long-term community impact in and around Collinsville. Find out more about scholarships, grants, and ways to give back to the city we love by visiting CollinsvilleFoundation.com.
No one likes a dirty house. It's work that almost no one wants to do. Why not get someone to do that work for you? Kara Gray with Rags to Riches Cleaning Service would love to take that task off your to-do list. Kara is a homegrown Collinsville High School graduate and the owner of Rags to Riches. From floors to ceilings, from baseboards to light fixtures, Rags to Riches can clean them all. No job is too big or too small. Call Kara Gray at Rags to Riches Cleaning Service to schedule a free estimate today at 618-979-9634 or visit Rags to Riches Cleaning Service on Facebook.
Back here at Virgil Fletcher Gymnasium, Todd Duke, Dr. Chris McCluskey with you. Collinsville up 11-6, 4:35 left to play here in this opening quarter. Raylor is with the ball. Into the corner it goes to Hayes. They'll kick it back out to Komnick, and then around the horn it'll go to Carson. Carson back up front, Komnick, and they'll continue to dribble and drive, and all of it outside of the perimeter. Almost knocked that ball away, and Carson, he comes up with it, and Lincoln goes back to work. Here is Hayes, tries to drive just outside the left-hand part of that lane, and then a ball that gets almost knocked out of bounds. Nice job by Lincoln to keep it in. Carson for three, and at the shot clock, that one barely made it, and the rebound put back up, still not in, and the next rebound belongs to Collinsville. Carnahan gets the ball over to Chase Reynolds. Reynolds brings it across the floor and over back to Jamori Weisinger, back to Reynolds across the timeline. We're halfway through quarter number one. Collinsville up by 5, 11-6. Free throw line. Carnahan, he'll let a floater go. Falls a little short, gets his own rebound, puts it back up, and that one still won't fall in. After a couple of bounces off that fat part of the iron, man, I thought that was going to go.
Yeah, Stan did a good job of going after